to the Car Ride Convos Podcast, episode 12. Yes?
11.
No, it's 12.
12. Okay.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm sick.
The only podcast that leaves you questioning, are we there yet?
I agree. I completely agree.
Especially in this car, because we take the long way everywhere.
Yeah, what is it? We're known for taking 40 minutes to get to the post office.
Driving around mall parking garages for an ungodly amount of time to finish our thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We learned after a while to just park it, just let it out like that. But, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a great show. We got a great show today. We are doing another really bad movie review.
And boy, oh boy, this has been a long one in the making.
This one was a challenge, to say the least. I don't know how much, detail I need to give, but it's just like, we did this a week or two ago or something, where we filmed an entire, I want to say 1.5 to 2 hour long podcast. It was pretty long.
And it was boring straight out the get-go.
Yeah.
It was bad.
We were reviewing
Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, wow. That movie...
Just don't. Nutshell, don't watch it. Horrible. It lives up to every horrible review that I think I ever heard about it, and then some.
I mean,
it was a train wreck.
I'm not really gonna understate this anymore, but I think that movie broke me.
The Car Ride Convos review team is due for a halfway decent movie.
Yeah, this one we kind of went into pretty much knowing it was bad.
They
ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would know.
I was broken by the end of it.
Yeah, it kind of put us off to attempting to watch other movies to do for this.
Yeah. Because
it was so bad, and it was that was just boring from the beginning, and it was 2 hours? 2 hours, 20 minutes? I mean, it was over the 2 hour mark. It was so long and so boring, and it never caught your attention.
Yep.
I mean, it was just bad.
And we followed it up a couple days later, and we were like, all right, we'll just watch another movie and review that. And we watched The Cloverfield Paradox on Netflix.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Wow.
Also not great. I mean, it was definitely not Battlefield Earth caliber. I mean, that's a hard one to top.
But I remember turning to you, and I was just like, I can't talk about this movie.
Yeah.
You and I are fans of what people call the Cloververse.
Sure.
We enjoy the Cloververse. It's good.
Yeah.
But the Cloververse, man, is just a bit messy. There's some good stuff. I think, in my opinion, two out of the 3 movies are good.
See, I don't agree.
I know. We kind of differ on one of them, but...
I don't think I'm as big of a fan of the Cloververse as you are, because you actually liked the second movie. I feel like I liked the second movie up until it became part of the Cloververse. I felt like it could have been a good standalone movie in and of itself, and they're like, oh no, but wait, this is part of it. The last 5 minutes, we're just going to throw in a bunch of weird alien stuff and say that it's incorporated with the other movie, and then it's like, no.
Yeah, it's, I do agree to an extent that there's a bit of ham-fistedness that comes with the way that they were just let's make a good movie, and at the end tack on the Cloververse.
Right.
And then, of course, spoilers, but the Cloververse is it's not just about the first Cloverfield movie. There's a lot of things going on. And, there are some theories that I'm not going to get into because it's just, we're already wasting so much time talking about it. Just, I don't know. I like it, like you said, I do like the Cloververse. So, I do, I don't know. If we ever have, a slot open for a Grounded podcast where it's just, Ryan's Cloververse corner, or like, let's talk about the Cloververse. For 2.5 hours, we could do that. But
I'm already bored.
Yeah. But I remember turning to you though at the end of the Cloverfield Paradox, and I'm just like, I can't talk about this movie.
Yeah, that had all kinds of. That was a big bunch of mess too.
So a couple days after that, so we're like almost a week later. I mean, it's just like, this was a huge. Like I said, we have a whole episode sitting on our hard drive that's just never going to make the light of day because of how bad Battlefield Earth just like broke us, and we're just like, wow.
It was depressing.
It was so bad that I like went and I bought the book. Like, I was like, I have to read this and see, like, what is it about this movie that they were like, you know what would be a good movie to make? The Battlefield Earth. That would be a really good movie to make.
And, like, I love how the illustrations on the cover of the book literally have nothing. Like, none of those creatures are from the actual movie.
Yeah,
at all.
and it looks...
Or make it into the movie.
It looks so much more fascinating than...
The movie was?
Than the movie.
Yeah, that's just the cover.
The cover alone. The thing is, though, is that number one, it's written by L. Ron Hubbard. So, like, ugh. Like, I don't know.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. Reading that, I mean, like, who knows? Like, if you know anything about his writing process, and something else that I just, like, we talked a whole lot about on the other podcast, that's just never going to make the light of day. But for good reason. It's
let's talk about it again.
Yeah, it's not good. It wasn't.
It was not good at all. No.
It had nothing to do with us. I just think it was just generally the content.
It was just boring to talk about. So I think it made for very uninteresting conversation.
Yes.
But I think let's wrap that up and just say that was our utter failure, and then this is our third attempt, which I think was actually a pretty decent pick.
Not bad.
Was Creep.
Mm-hmm.
With Mark Duplass. And another random guy that I don't know.
Another guy that Blumhouse and Mark Duplass is like, who can we hire and pay like $2,100 to do like a 8-day movie shoot? Mm-hmm. And they landed on this guy. This guy's like a guy.
He's just a guy.
He probably has acted. I should have looked it up. He's probably acted in some substantial stuff since. He's not a bad actor.
No, he did not look familiar to me at all, though.
No, he's very serviceable. I mean, it's definitely like, just throw him in there. It'll work. Work for random white guy number 8.
Yeah. It was a thriller/horror movie about Mark Duplass plays, the guy, which I don't know his name. What was his name in the movie?
No idea. Shoot. Absolutely no idea.
The other guy's name was Joshua. Aaron, right?
Yeah.
Aaron. Okay, so Aaron is this, like, the movie starts where, like, he's in a car and he's driving somewhere and he's talking about that he's going to meet somebody.
All right, we are leaving the flatlands and we are heading up towards the mountaintop.
He is, like, a videographer and shows up to this house, blah, 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 in a nutshell, where Mark Duplass lives, which his name is Joshua. And he basically hires Aaron, I think he says for, like, the day, right? 8 hours of his time or something. Like, he wants to make a video. He says that he has cancer, and...
that bike has 2 wheels.
In the front. That's weird.
What
it's like a reverse tricycle.
The Cloververse.
It's like the Cloververse. Oh, my God!
All right, continue with your synopsis, though.
So he says that he has cancer. He only has a few more months to live. And his wife just found out that she's pregnant, so he basically wants to, like, make a movie to his unborn child of kind of, like, showing him who he is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the synopsis, and it's basically Aaron spending this whole entire day with this guy, and then kind of what ensues after that, because he finds out within probably the first 15 seconds of meeting him that he's a weirdo. He's a real creep. So, yeah, I think this was an interesting movie. I think that it was definitely a unique take. Like, it wasn't kind of when we were talking about, like, A Quiet Place. Like, that was a good movie. But as far as, like, the story goes, like, the premise probably wasn't the most original. Yeah. Because it was about, like, alien/creature of some sort in, like, a post-apocalyptic time and how you survive and, figuring out the weaknesses of a creature. That's pretty much, a tale as old as time.
And it was a bit complicated. Like, there was, facets to it.
Yes.
This movie is, I would say, also not super original and also not very complicated. It's very straightforward and, like, it's...
You don't think it was original?
I don't know. Psycho, just like the weird, crazy guy.
I guess the thing... Okay, what do you think is an original thought?
Back of the killer tomato.
There's only so many things that are considered scary.
Exactly.
So, you gotta take that into account. I think the whole premise of why he's there was interesting, and you know that there's something not right with this guy right off the bat, so I like that it wasn't very slow moving, like it was just very much like you were continually like trying to figure this guy out.
Yeah, it was it was an hour and 17 minutes, I believe.
Yeah, which was a pretty quick movie.
Which I think that they're pretty self-aware of like how far they could stretch this movie.
Yeah.
Like this plot, they're like, you know what, we could probably only retain people for, this amount of minutes. Good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them knowing that, because there were parts where I was like, all right, I get it, but it moved on and went to the next one.
Right,
and
and the thing that I liked about that as far as like the story goes and it being a little bit more original is the fact that kind of when you think that it's going to end, it's like, oh wait, he's fine, and then he goes home, and then it, the story goes on after that, and the way that they kind of keep it going, I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I totally...
So instead of it being like, lured into this guy's house and then he murders you or whatever.
Yeah, it was.
I like.
It was a little more complicated than that.
Yes.
Because I think that would have really sung to like that would have been so one note, and instead I feel like they really established like a solid 3-act movie. Which is funny because I counted the whole third act, at least my interpretation of the third act taking place. The third act is literally 8 minutes long. It's an 8-minute long segment. I was like, wow, that is that is concise. Like, it literally goes, first act is, I want to say, like, 20-some minutes. Middle act it was pretty long. It was like 40-some, 50-some minutes or something like that. It was like mid-40s probably, if I'm doing my math correctly of how long. No, 60, and then 8, and then, there's some change in there somewhere. But yeah, it was funny how the acts, like, they were really unbalanced and stuff, but it was fine. It was totally fine. This is another Blumhouse movie. I believe it was Blumhouse Tilt, specifically. I'm sure they have a whole section of movies that is the Blumhouse Tilt production. Yeah, it was BH Tilt or whatever. So I don't know if this is like, how low budget our regular Blumhouse stuff is? Like, this is like how much lower we can go.
Even lower. It was one of those movies like what do they call those? Handheld camera type of...
found footage, I think, is the thing. But it's like, that's
found
not really...
footage type
that doesn't really apply, considering how, like...
Not really, but basically it's like,
That's a term for it, though, I think.
Well, yeah, I think you're right.
You could call it handheld, but it's like... And that's more accurate, but I think it's like...
Camcorder footage.
Found footage, like... Blair Witch style. Like, that's where the term probably originated from. Even though it probably originated from further back than that with, like...
I feel like it should be called, like...
Andy Warhol
citizen
movies.
Footage, or, like, pedestrian footage, or...
not citizen,
out in the wild footage.
What's it called? Civilian footage.
Oh,
Civilian footage is the word
that sounds better.
Of.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the word you're thinking of.
You probably. Thank you. It's probably overheating. How much you want to bet? Oh, it's hot. Ooh, it's hot.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, that's interesting.
This is going to be a problem during the summertime.
Yeah, it is.
Technical difficulties.
Da-na-na-na-na-na, feel just like a rock star.
Okay, so before the technical difficulties cut us short, we were talking about Blumhouse Tilt, Blumhouse whatever.
Yes.
I don't remember. I could have sworn, which doesn't make sense because obviously they're doing very well for themselves right now. I could have sworn, though, that one of the Blumhouses went out of business, though.
Wait, what do you mean one of them?
So, you have subsidiary productions and stuff like that. So, like, Blumhouse is the big one. And they have a couple of, like, other things, within it.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like in Michael Bay's case with the one we did before, A Quiet Place.
Mm-hmm.
I think he produces out of Silver Dunes, which I think it's called Silver Dunes. Silver Dunes, Silver Sand something, Silver whatever.
Wrong-o.
Silver Fox.
Yeah, why do we even care about Michael Bolton? But
Michael Bolton?
Michael Bay.
It's like, what does he have to do with this?
But yeah, and that's a subsidiary production of Universal as a whole. But I think Silver Dunes might be shutting down as well, maybe? Because I think that they've totally canned the Transformers stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just being hyperbolic right now.
Okay.
So
what is your point? What are you saying? So you think one of the Blumhouses would close down?
I think. I may be wrong. I might be totally wrong, though. This might be a tangent. This will be edited out. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Blumhouse killed. And they are a subsidiary production of the regular Blumhouse and stuff. Mm-hmm. And this is, like, just beyond hilariously under budget. Like, of course, you had to pay for Mark Duplass to do... I don't know if he wrote, directed, and starred in it, but
I don't know.
he seemed to have a lot going on. But it's like the production is, like... I think Paranormal Activity probably had more going on than this movie. This movie was like, if they told me, which I tried looking up the budget and I couldn't find an exact number, but if they told me this movie cost like $10,000, I would totally believe them.
Because there was literally nothing to pay for. I mean, you could have rented that house for, $100 a night or whatever, off of Airbnb, and then just paid your actors and just filmed it with any little thing that you had to film with. Yeah, the
camera, I don't know what it was, but it was like the resolution, not the resolution, something was up with it where it was like a real grainy digital. It's like that fine sandy look that, I don't know, I'm not a camera technician, hence the reason why our camera overheated when we were doing this first time. But yeah, I mean, like, if someone said it cost $10,000, it would totally not surprise me whatsoever. And the release schedule was weird for this. It premiered in 2014 at South by Southwest, and then it didn't reach theaters and or wherever they released it until the following year of 2015. That's a long journy. I don't know. That is a long journey. That seems like a long journey. Maybe it took them that long to find a buyer. Maybe I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like a really bare bones project, and it worked for the most part. Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
I feel like you're having you have a butt coming. What is the butt? Like, it wasn't terrible, but what do you have beef with in this movie?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I just think the story is just kind of like meh.
See, I liked the story. Why was the story...
It just probably a taste thing. But the thing is the movie ends very well. Like, I was like, this is good. Yeah. I like this. Like, this is...
I almost wasn't sure if they were going to take it there, and it was just like, oh no, he's like just a creep. And it's like, oh no, he's a crazy creep.
Yeah.
So I was kind of happy that that's how it ended. I really do think we should watch the second one, because I really, a lot of these, like, I really am a firm believer in standalone movies. I was going to say standalone horror movies, but I very rarely want or desire a sequel, prequel, or any type of addition to movies that I love. I want to just appreciate them for... I'm not saying this is like a movie that I love, but I mean, it's... At least it was a standalone good movie. But I always get a little apprehensive about things when there's like, oh yeah, let's try it again, and we'll just...
But what about Saw?
But, Saw yeah. I mean, I like Saw, but I wouldn't say Saw, like, they're Saw has a lot of issues, too, though.
Oh, tons.
I mean, I appreciate that in the sense of, like, that's, like, nostalgic, and they're over the top, and I like that. Mm-hmm. I don't watch them because there's good acting, because there isn't.
Yeah.
I don't watch them for like the the realness of the story, because that's not it either. Like they're just entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate them for what they are. Really gory movies.
Yeah.
But
there's an entertainment value to the Saw movies that I just think is just like next level. Like, I don't know, they're so awesome.
yeah, no, I agree.
But there's certain aspects of them that just really suck.
But I mean, I don't know if you necessarally needed 7.
No.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely
Like,
not.
some
And
of
whatever,
those
there's like
movies
there's a new one. It's like awful. You and I watched it. It was so bad.
I don't even remember it. Oh yeah, I do. Oh yeah, that was not good.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Yeah, that one was pretty
It
bad.
wasn't good. It was rehashing basically a previous movie,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're not talking about Saw.
Nope.
We do that all the time. Anyway, yeah, but Creep wasn't bad. I think the story, I kind of liked the story. Like, it wasn't, again, I don't really know how original at this point you can get with a horror movie, because horror, if it has the name of horror, it has to be horrifying in some way. Like, there has to be a concept that is unsettling. And I think there's only so many things that are unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, look at some of the dumb movies that they're like, oh, but this could be so scary, that, like, don't work at all. Like, what was that one movie called? Missed Call or something like that.
Oh.
Or whatever. Where it was
That's
about,
some
like...
circa 2005 or 2006.
Yeah, but I mean,
crap.
like, so it,
Yeah.
I mean, it can only be... Certain things are just not scary. You can try to make them scary. They're not going to be scary. So I think you, in all reality, only have a certain number of things that you can, to a general audience, are actually going to be unsettling.
People probably get upset for me throwing Mark Duplass's name in with Alfred Hitchcock, but I really do see a lot of similarities at how it's like, I think, the perfect marriage of thriller and horror. I really like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The whole first act, I thought, accomplished something that a lot of us millennials can really relate to, and that's the whole first act is based on how much my heart was pounding during, like, the whole, like, just basically, like, just social anxiety. Like, that's, like, the whole first act is just basically, like, he's a good person, the guy who's coming to record Joshua, or isn't his name John or Joshua or whatever? Joshua, who comes to record him. He's a good person, and he's recording Josh, and Josh is just, like, he's pushing it to the limits. He's, like, you can tell he's, like, he's like, let's see how far I can push this and how much this guy can deal with that. That becomes apparent right off the bat, because he says things a lot in the movie. Like, I'm just like, wow. Everything Joshua just said right now is total and utter lies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like every word he just said is a lie.
Yeah.
And so he does this thing, which I think we've all been in a situation where we have friends or acquaintances that are just, I think, like, you're literally, it's psychopathic. That's what it is. Is, like, literally manipulating someone and seeing, like, hey, how far can I push this person?
Yeah.
What can I do to this person until they turn me away?
Yeah.
And
Like,
he finds out with Joshua that you can do a lot, because...
no, the guy's name was Aaron. Are you talking about the guy?
Sorry, Aaron.
Aaron. Okay,
He
yeah.
finds out with
Joshua
Aaron.
can do a lot to Aaron.
Yes, I think that's what I said. I think it just came out weird.
But even that part where you said, like, how he's like, no, like, just one drink, like, just one drink. And then, his keys get, misplaced and he can't find them, and he's like, dude, like, it's dark, it's dark in here, like, we'll look for them, and then we'll just stay here. And how you were like, this is such an interesting phenomenon, because it is just really just playing off of the whole social anxiety thing, when you're kind of being pushed into a corner and you're just too nice of a person to just be like, no, like, I want to go home. I just make that decision instead of, like, avoiding that conflict or avoiding that awkward situation or conversation. You just be like, and like deep down you're like, no, all I want to do is go home, but you hear yourself saying, okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And
it's tough. It's really tough because, like, I've been in those situations. Like, I would characterize myself, like, you know, to the contrary of what I talk, because I say a lot of terrible things throughout my life. But I am a person that does not know how to say no. I'm genuinely...
Really?
Yeah, like, I've been in a lot of situations like that where it's the reason why it kind of resonated with me very well. And I just don't know how to say no to people. And I'm willing to go the extra mile for people that I don't know. And honestly, like, people are like, oh, Ryan, you're just talking yourself up. Like, you're just, like, you're being super conceited and like, you're not being humble. No, I actually think it's a character flaw, because that's like, I really, really push to the limit sometimes what I'm willing to do for people that I don't know. And that has put me in a lot of situations over my lifetime that has not been comfortable. And that's why I share this experience where I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is like, this would drive me crazy. But it gets to a point where I can awkwardly wiggle myself out of the situation, where I'm just like, no, just run away.
Just run away. That sounds like the most mature thing to do.
Exactly.
For sure.
Just run away from your problems.
Wiggle and run.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, like, the first act definitely resonates pretty heavily with me. I totally understand the idea of really being there for someone that you barely know. And, like, the weird thing is I can almost tell when they are sociopathic, psychopathic. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I have no idea what it would be. But I can tell when people are pushing the limits with me and they're really feeling me out, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, this dude's playing games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this guy, and normally that's a good sign that if once I figure that out, that's a good sign where I'm like, all right, you're done with this person. Like, go home, get out of here. Sure. Gotcha.
Interesting. I feel like I'm the type of person that it takes me a while to, like, warm up to people or get to know somebody.
Good.
So I was going to say, I feel like I'm the polar opposite of that. Like, when I was younger and, you know, you meet new people that your parents are friends with, you know, their parents, and then you meet their kids, and it's kind of awkward, and you have these awkward situations where, like, growing up, I feel like I had a lot of situations like that were uncomfortable, as far as, like, oh, no, just do this, and you really, 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 really don't want to, and then you say yes because you don't know how to say no, or you're being nice, and then, like, the next, like, 3 hours of your life doing whatever activity that thing is, you're just like, I hate myself, I should have said no, why did I do this? I feel like I learned a lot from those situations, and now, especially with people I don't know, I feel little to any type of emotion or obligation to anybody that I'm like, I very easily say no.
Good.
I mean, maybe that's a character flaw, too, because I feel like then I
of course.
come off as not the nicest person.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, well, I would have been uncomfortable. I just know myself. Like, I'm just going to avoid this altogether. I'm not good at being fake nice in any way. That's my problem. That's probably a character flaw.
I'm far too good at it, which is weird, because you'd think that'd get me a lot of places, but it doesn't.
I don't think it does so much when you're an adult, because then I feel like you just look like a pushover.
Well, you would think I'd be able to sweet talk people into getting whatever I want.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true, too. That doesn't work?
I get it. No, sweetheart. Like, just like people like, what a cutie. Like, get out of here. You little...
Get out of here. Scamper along.
Yeah, get out of here, kid. All right, that's fine. Yeah, so, I don't know, I liked it. I think it accomplished what it set out to do. We got to remember at the end of this to give it a post-mortem and give it a
puppy heads.
A puppy score.
Puppy score.
I'm trying to think if I missed anything really bare bones. I don't, like, this movie could have literally been shot with 2 people.
Yeah.
Like, if you remove Mark Duplass and you get, like, a serviceable person who can accomplish the weird role that he has, I mean, the weird thing is it wouldn't be that big of a movie. Because the fact that Mark has connections, he has connections to distribution and stuff like that. He knows the outlets to send it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't think it'd be quite as resonant if it came from someone else. But
yeah.
What's to stop somebody? I mean, I don't know. If you pay... I don't know. I mean, like, it is kind of interesting how literally anybody could just go out there and just make something like this. I mean, which makes me kind of like wonder, it's like, what's stopping you people? Like, go do it. Like, go, like all the ideas that I have, like, just go do it. Like, sure. There are some things that are just completely untangible. If I sat down and read this Battlefield Earth book and was like, let's make a movie, that's a little bit more complicated. You know what I'm saying? Because you have set pieces you have to worry about. You have wardrobe. You have a production value behind that. Mm-hmm. But as far as stories that are literally just that, and stories, do it, man. I don't know. Like you could... I don't know how much cameras they're going for camera rental stuff, but go out.
But this movie didn't even have that. You don't even need, like, a nice rental camera.
Yeah, I mean, like, looks like they were shooting with, like, one of those $1,000 Sony camcorders. That's what it looks like. And you could rent one of those for, like, super cheap, and all you got to do is buy the $60 memory card and just put it on your computer. You know, it's just like, it's not a super difficult feat. But I find that fascinating. I find that fascinating that Mark Duplass was like, let's make this movie. Now, the budget is a bit surprising. The number I was able to pull. Mark, if you watch our podcast, let me know in the comments, like, how much it costs. But the number was something like $1 to $3 million, which, of course, he had to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had to get paid, and maybe he didn't want to... Maybe he's not an editor. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he had to hire out an editor. Maybe he's not...
Yeah, but how much could that have possibly been? I just don't... Like, I don't think this should have broke $1 million by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. Still, $1 to $3 million, though, is an extremely cheap film.
No,
let's not.
Right,
like,
in the grand scheme of things, yes.
You could do this, though, with you and your buddy for, I want to say, I'll be generous and yet at the same time lowball it, like $1,000. You could do it for $1,000.
Yeah, if you didn't want to get paid, I guess.
If you want to get paid.
If you were just doing a project, sure. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I guess that's why I was kind of surprised to hear, because, like, Paranormal Activity, for example, the quality and everything is the same general premise as this movie. You know what I mean? And that movie was, like, what, $30,000 or something like that?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
What I mean?
It was like $38,000.
And I know, like, those were two people that, like, were kind of, you know, no-name actors, and I don't think that they got paid really much of anything.
No, because I think they were friends of the guy who produced and you know, wanted to... Yeah.
And that one even took a little bit more of, like, visual effects,
I know. That was the
this one had zero visual effects. Mm-hmm. All you needed is a Peach Fuzz mask.
Peach Fuzz mask. Peach Fuzz is the wolf mask he wears. It's in the trailer, I think, because it's like... It's a weird...
I'll attach a picture.
No, it's just the weirdest movie ever. Yeah, so...
I thought it was pretty good, though.
I liked it.
I think, especially for our flop of an attempt at doing this a couple other times, I think this was definitely refreshing. Mm-hmm. For once, I think our bad movie review is more of just the play on words of us giving it or performing a bad movie review. We're not good at reviewing a movie, and it not being a bad movie.
I completely agree with that. But I think it's fun because I think it could service both, though. It's like we both we do bad movie reviews, and sometimes we review bad movies. This wasn't a bad movie.
Correct.
Woo. All right, so we are wrapping things up on the Car Ride Convos Podcast number 12. I think 12. Can you count that on your fingers? Probably not. But we thought we'd bring the dogs out for the puppy score.
Puppy score.
Puppy score of this movie. I don't really have any final thoughts on it. I feel like we talked a lot about certain aspects of the movie. And the cool thing about this movie is I feel like, I don't know if we did or not, but I feel like we could have totally reviewed this completely no spoilers.
Maybe. I don't feel like we. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think we, and there really wasn't really need. It's a very straightforward, simple movie. So
yeah,
I like it, and it was good. And you ready for my puppy score?
I'm ready for your puppy score.
I am going to give it 1 Dexter.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
1 Dexter.
All right. I like that. I'm gonna give it 2 Dexters.
2 Dexters?
Yeah. Thought it was good. I like the story. Didn't fall into the monk category. Sorry, monk. No monk heads today.
No monk heads today.
But yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I don't really. It was a good movie. Solid. I would recommend it to a friend.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of good lessons in there as far as when you got nothing, how do you make a movie? Boom. Case and point.
Yeah.
I almost said point and case.
Point and case.
Point and case. But yeah, so we have someone commented on one of our previous videos some movies to watch and review. So we're going to add that to the list of things we could totally talk about in the future. But also, if there's a movie that you want us to watch, anywhere on the platform, any sort of platform, Netflix, Hulu, the movie theater, Redbox, whatever it is.
We're keeping our options open because we really, that last was just a struggle. It was, we only were a few movie reviews in and it was just such a pain.
And
so
I'm not gonna tell anybody this, but I want them to comment down below because I am so sick of picky movies.
Yeah.
Force me to watch something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Luckily, we already have a couple from a previous comment, so we wrote those down, so there'll be plenty of, we just got to find a way to get a hold of them.
Look at what she's
and
doing.
Stuff.
Look
at that dog. What a giant baby dog. Yeah. Comment down below.
Yes.
Movies you want us to watch, and we will do that. And I think that is going to be, after many attempts and a whole other long podcast that is just going to sit on the hard drive dead to us until we reveal it in the future. We might bust it out years down the road.
I don't think so. I think it needs to be
Who knows?
burned.
You think so? I don't want to delete it. I'm sure there's I remember at the end I was visibly either scarred or exhausted or
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
something in between.
It's just boring.
It is boring, but I was broken.
That you're fine.
It broke me. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could just feel it on my bones when we ended. I was like, that was not good.
I know. We should have put that in our not good segment.
Yeah, right. Not good.
Not good. Our own movie reviews.
Agreed.
Get it out of here. So that's going to do it for podcast number 12.
Yeah.
And we hope you tune in next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and I guess, I don't know, this is a big thing in, the notification, the bell thing.
Oh, yeah.
Click the bell thing if you want to be tuned in to all things Car Ride Convos Podcast. It's a weekly podcast, but we erratically upload things during the week as well.
Yeah. Okay, I think we need to finally finish this. It's been real.
It's been real. It's been fun, but not real fun.
Oh, gosh.
We can't have too much fun on this podcast.
Right.
Too much fun and they kick us off the internet, so.
Is that how that works?
I think so. That's like
Okay.
the rating system. All right, yeah, we're out of here. See ya.
All right. Bye!